All right, true crime fans. Hi, it's me, Patti Lee. The 6 cases we have today, as we unpack them here, we have a new case that I just heard about today out of California, the Angela Dawn Flores case, and it's not great. It will remind you of some other cases we have. We're going to cover the white and white jailbreak, which we're pairing that obviously with 19 crimes. We're going to go over the new, there's a new aspect to the Petito and Schmidt civil case. Pairing that with a bubbly sangria because it reminds me of Florida and the sweetness of Miss Gabby, who deserves as much justice as possible, in my opinion. My opinion only. Harmony, there's a little Harmony Montgomery update about one of the witnesses in her case, and we're going to do a little baby barefoot, little pink baby barefoot white Zen, because was a sweet baby, and we're going to go over the report from Massachusetts about her case and a witness update. And then we're going to have some bits and pieces catch up. We have a little bit on Barry Morphew and the Naomi Aaron case and the Shabusiness. Is it Shabusiness? It's a little bit of our business. So we'll talk about that case that I haven't covered yet. We're going to pair that with the Menage a Trois because it's 3 little updates. And then we'll have our Barefoot Bubbly because, why bubbly? Because we're going to talk about a celebrity case. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. Oh, I've got you covered on that one. In fact, I think I spent way too much time on that. So, set back. If you have this pairing, the first case, our Angela Dawn Flores case, we have a lovely California. It's a Sophia wine, and let's just pour it on. It says Blanc on Blanc. Ooh, and it's a little bit. I have to be careful here with my wine consumption. All right, so let me just tell you, this is crazy. I'm going to take a sip just so we can all get used to what's going to go on here. Mother's Day seems to be a bad day for crimes. So, on this Mother's Day in Woodland Hills, California, and if you watch Heather McDonald, shout out Heather, on the Juicy Scoop, she talks about Woodland Hills, which is in the Valley. Well, this woman was recently moved to the Valley with her 4 children, 12-year-old daughter, 8-year-old twins, and a 16-year-old son, about 3 or 4 months ago. One of the neighbors who was interviewed by either the LA Times or one of the news sources said it was the nicest house on that block. They seemed like normal people from what they could tell, right? But in 3 months, are you really talking to your neighbors all that much? Especially if, so here's what happened. On Saturday night, Ms. Angela, around midnight, was screaming, my family abused me. And people are like, the next door neighbor was like, okay, what's going on? She's outside in her front yard. She brings candles, lights some like religious candles, and seemingly has a Bible and is doing something. And that's enough for the neighbor to be like, okay, 911. So they call, the paramedics show up because she seems like she's woohoo. And hey, look, everybody's had their share. I didn't mean to make fun of mental health. Especially nowadays, and especially last week, a lot of political stuff happened. People could be thrown over the edge, right? So that's fine. And it's good, and neighbors should call, especially if you're outside screaming your family's abusing you. Like, this lady doesn't know what's going on. The paramedics come. She's out of control. They put her on a gurney, and she's like screaming, "Where's my Bible? Where's my Bible? Ow, ow, you heard me." Okay, I'm over dramatizing that, but like that. according to the witnesses. You know, it's out of control. So that's Saturday night. So at this point, it is unclear to me why they don't go inside the house and check to see if there's anybody else or anything. Apparently, she gets taken to the hospital. Okay, and again, this is just coming out right now. So, I'm trying to get to where, yeah, it says she walked into her next door neighbor's front yard, opened the Bible, and lit candles. I don't know. That's even crazier, right? Not even her own front yard. So we're not sure about that. You know, there's lots of discrepancies. You know the grapevine. One person says one thing, then another person says it, another person says it. So this is as far as I know right now, which I call this as AFOC. As far as we know, I call it AFOC RN. As far as we know right now, this is what's happened. So she was screaming about her Bible. She was taken to the hospital. It says for a mental eval, and it says it's unclear what happened between then. Because, it's breaking news on the True Crime Grapevine. All right. So now the next thing we know, anyways, is the authorities get a 911 call at 7:40 the next morning, saying that there's been an incident. And I think this was the 16-year-old son who called. And so paramedics get there. And I'm not going to tell you the address, but they have the address of where it was in the valley. And it was a report of assault with a deadly weapon. So they break into the house and find there's 3 children unresponsive. And they think they died Saturday night. So prior to the little freak out ceremony in the front yard with candles, and my family's abusing me. So a 12-year-old daughter and 8-year-old twins, all unresponsive. Now the 16-year-old was okay. And I don't know if the 16-year-old, who 16 could drive, was the one who went to go get her from the mental eval and brought her back home. This is all unclear, but or if she was still in, maybe she was still in the mental evaluation, and then the 16-year-old son called. They come there. They find the children, the other 3 children, unresponsive and deceased. And we don't know yet why. We don't have any. This is all just happening. So this was Sunday morning, Mother's Day, at 8 o'clock in the morning. They come and find these children. And it says where I don't think it matters that this children went, what school they attended, the boys. So Flores and her son, it said they sought refuge at 2 different neighborhood homes before the police arrived Sunday. So I don't know if they were so that makes it sound like the mom is back at home, sought refuge. Were they saying somebody was in the house? Were they trying to make a claim that somebody else hurt these children? So we don't know the cause of death yet. The 16-year-old he went to another neighbor's house who said that his siblings were unresponsive, and that's who called 911. So again, this is very convoluted. These people are running around. So the LA Times said the mother admitted to killing her children. And she said she had help from the 16-year-old. The 16-year-old is being held in juvie, no bail. She is being held on a $6 million bail. But come on. She's not going to have. The LA Times also reported they got a hold of, it sounds like there must be more than one ex or more different fathers to these children, but they said they got a hold of Jacob Corona, who was her ex-husband, and they said he reported that she had called him Tuesday, and they don't talk all the time apparently, and she was making some odd comments. He reported that she was telling me all this stuff about God, not exactly, it's not elaborated what she said, and that she didn't sound right. So, and that was Tuesday. Now, I don't know who he could have called. I always say, so what can we learn from this? Number one, I guess if your ex calls you out of the blue And now they had one child together who was not with him, so it's not, so he didn't have, unfortunately, like we say, somebody doesn't have a dog in the fight, he didn't have a kid in the house. His child that he had with her apparently lives with him or resides elsewhere, not with her. So maybe he didn't feel compelled, like it was just a weird out of the blue phone call. But if someone does call you and is sounding insane, maybe just call the police in their area. Just do your due diligence. Say, I don't know what's going on with this woman. She sounds out of her mind. Could you do a welfare check? I mean, and I'm not blaming him, obviously. How could he have known? But so he